everybody, welcome back to Review the Nerds. I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike, and today we're going to be discussing the best and worst of 2015.
Yes, and what we mean by that is we're going to be going over what we personally feel are the best and worst movies out of the ones that we've reviewed this past year. You know, it's a lot of other big ones that came out this year, but unfortunately me or Mike or most of us didn't see it, and therefore we both couldn't review it. So we're just sticking to the ones that we reviewed this year.
Geeky and nerdy movies.
Yes, geeky and nerdy movies. Okay, so for me, what I think is the worst film we've reviewed this year has to be Jupiter Ascending by the Wachowskis. This movie was just horrible. The plot was garbage. The characters were boring, especially the main one played by Mila Kunis, which I don't know if it's really her fault or not, but damn. The special effects were good sometimes, but painfully obvious that they were special effects at other times. If you haven't seen this movie, congratulations, you're still pure.
You didn't like Eddie Redmayne.
No, I didn't like Mr. Calm and Screamy. Oh God, Eddie, thank God you were in a good movie before and after this fucking film. But anyway, yeah, Jupiter Jones, I mean, the more I think about it, the more that movie just grates on my mind. And I'm not going to go any more into it because I'm just going to start ranting like a fucking madman. So I'm going to give the reins over to Mike. Mike, what was your worst?
Also, if you want to click the link to all of our reviews, they're going to be at the bottom for each review we're talking about. So click on Jupiter Sync if you want to check out what we have to say about that.
Yeah.
Now, I am totally with Vincent that this is probably the worst film that we've reviewed. I think there's a few notable ones that were not so good either, but I'm going to go a little different. I agree with him that's probably the worst film of the year. I'm going to go a different direction and say that the one I enjoyed the least was probably Terminator Genisys. I'm a longtime Terminator fan, love the Cameron films, and this movie, it's like it wanted to pay tribute to the originals by pissing all over them. Destroying everything that was special about them, and repackaging it into something that is far less original and far less interesting. They ruined all of the character developments, all of the interesting backstories. It was, I thought it was incredibly disappointing. And, you know, if you read interviews with the creators, the people that put together, producers, the intent was to recapture that magic. And you guys just completely failed on that, in that front. I am sad that it did so well overseas and that there's now talks that they're still going forward with the sequel. But the funny thing is that apparently they're taking polls now with fans trying to find out where they went wrong. It's like, do you even need to ask people where you went wrong? Isn't it kind of blatantly obvious where you went wrong? You guys want to know what you need to do to fix a series? Wipe Genisys completely from continuity.
Yeah.
Then we'll be good. So anyways, that is the one I enjoyed the least this year. Now we're going to jump into what I think is the best film that we've reviewed this year next, as a juxtaposition to Terminator Genisys. To me, the positive equivalent. Because this film was to serve the fans as well. It was something to pay tribute to the originals, but then to try to, you know, take us somewhere that we actually wanted to go, unlike Terminator Genisys. And I'm, of course, talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, if you watch our full review, you'll see I have criticisms about the movie, and while the movie does at times come so close to paying tribute to the originals that it borderlines in being a remake, it still honors them in a lot of ways. It continues the story forward. It doesn't piss over what you loved about the originals, it expands upon it. And it gives you characters you loved seeing again, you get to see them in action, and, you know, the movie overall was great, and of course it's doing great cinematically, you know, financially, critically, so, you know, this is going to be a series that can expand, and for good reason. This one I'm on board with. This one gave me goosebumps. This one made me go, oh, that's what I loved about the originals. So, yeah, that's why I say, to hell with Terminator Genisys, let's all stand behind, oh, I don't even need to convince anybody, we're all standing behind Force Awakens. So that is what I would say is the one I enjoyed the most, I had the most fun watching this year.
Okay. Well, for my best, and yeah, I had to give this one a lot of thought. Remember, this is my personal, what gave me the biggest entertainment value. It was definitely between Star Wars and this, and for me, it was Avengers Age of Ultron. I know a lot of people found Age of Ultron disappointing, and I'll admit, I think the first Avengers was a little better, but I really don't think it was as bad as some people made it out to be. It was, I mean, it still was a really good movie. So many times out the film, it gave me the same cheers and thrills and excitements that the first Avengers did. Naturally, yes, as we've spoken about before, it was a bit clunky at times because they had to introduce a lot of new characters to give them an interesting enough story and their own subplots and whatnot. However, I still think it was really cool. I mean, for one, we get to see the Avengers working together as a team through most of the film, whereas in the first Avengers, we don't only get to see that towards the end, and getting to see them working together in unison like that was really cool. Plus, Ultron, I thought he was a great villain. I thought he was awesome. In fact, in some ways, I think he's better than Loki. I think he's a great match for Loki as an Avengers villain.
I'm going to disagree with him, but I will agree that it was still fun. I enjoyed Age of Ultron. I just can't say it was my. I had a lot more fun with Star Wars. So that's where we're going to divide here.
All right, well, thank you for checking in on our video. We always appreciate it. Please click subscribe down there. And like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at @nerds_review. And until next time, I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike.
And this has been
Review of the Nerds.
Check it next time.